Lowest common multiple. Model answers. Let's look at our first question. What is the lowest common multiple of 90 and 150? Now the first thing to notice is the number of marks. This is a 2-mark question. This means that you must show all the workings out and get the correct answer to get both marks. So let's begin with the first number, 90. And the way we're going to do this is by using the factor tree to work out the prime factors, and then from there work out the lowest common multiple. Let's go through this. 90. Now 90 is an even number, therefore it is divisible by 2. 2 is the smallest prime number. 90 divided by 2 is 45. Now 45 cannot be divided by 2, and the next prime number is 3. This can be divided by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Now 15 cannot be divided by 2, but it can be divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And because 5 is also a prime number, we have reached the end of the factor tree for the number 90. We're going to circle all the prime factors. Basically, all the prime numbers, when multiplied together, give us 90. Now we're going to turn our attention to the second number, which is 150. So 150. Now again, this is an even number, starting with the smallest prime number is 2. 150 divided by 2 is 75. Now 75 cannot be divided by 2, so we have to move up to the next prime number, which is 3. And 75 can be divided by 3. The answer is 25. Now 25, it cannot be divided by 2 or by 3, and the next prime number is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. So we have now got all the prime factors for number 150. It is 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. So we have completed the first stage in working out the lowest common multiple. Now let's write these numbers out. 90 equals all of the numbers that we have circled. So it is 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And the second number, which was 150, again we're taking all the numbers that we have circled, so it's 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Now the first step in working out the lowest common multiple is to work out the highest common factor, something that we have been doing in the previous tutorial. Now to work out the highest common factor, we look at the number 2 at the top. It matches another 2 at the bottom. The next number is the 3. It matches the 3 over here. And lastly, we've got a 5, which matches a 5 over here. So therefore, the highest common factor, let me just write that out again, it wasn't very clear. Highest common factor equals 2 times 3 times 5. So that's all the numbers we have circled above. So that equals 2 times 3 is 6, times 5 is 30. Now to work out the lowest common multiple, what we're going to do is just change colors. The lowest common multiple equals 30, that's the highest common factor, multiply all the numbers we have not used. So let's go back up here. We have not used this 3, and we have not used the 5 over here. So let's multiply these out. 30 times 3 is 90. 90 times 5 is 450. Now, if required, you can actually show the multiplication as well. So the lowest common multiple of numbers 90 and 150 is 450. Let's move on to our second question. What is the lowest common multiple of 125 and 350? Now again, the first thing to notice is the number of marks. There are 2 marks to this question. So hence, the examiners are expecting you to show your workings. So let's begin. The first number is 125. So we're going to write this down here. And we're going to use our factor tree to work out the prime factors. Now 125 is an odd number, therefore it cannot be divided by 2. The next prime number is 3, and 3 does not go into 125. The next prime number is 5. Now because 125 ends in 5, we know that it will divide by 5. 125 divided by 5 is 25. Now 25, again, we know that it cannot be divided by 2 or by 3, but it can be divided by 5. And 5 is a prime number. So therefore, we have worked out the prime factors of the number 125. We're going to circle them. It's 5, 5, and 5 again. Okay, moving on to our second number, 350. So let's write this down, 350. Now this is an even number, so we know that it will divide by 2. So 350 divided by 2 is 175. 175 cannot be divided by 2. The next prime number is 3. It does not go into 3. The one after that is a 5. And 175 divided by 5 is 35. Now again, 35 cannot be divided by 2 or by 3, and the next prime number is 5. And we know from our times tables that 35 divided by 5 is 7. And because 7 is a prime number, we have reached the last number that can be divided by a prime number. So the prime factors of the number 350 are 2, 5, 5, and 7. So the first stage is done. So let's write these numbers out. 125. Now you can take shortcuts here, but the most important thing is if you know the full method, use it in practice. Because by the time you get to the exam, you would have mastered it. So 125 equals 5 times 5 times 5. And we're going to do the same for 350. Equals 2 times 5 times 5 times 7. Now the next step, as you will know, is to work out the highest common factor. So which numbers match on the top line and the bottom line? So we have a 5 here, and we're going to match it with a 5 over here. We have another 5 here, which we're going to match with a 5 over here. So the highest common factor, once we work this out, we'll be able to work out the lowest common multiple. The highest common factor equals all the ones we've circled. So it's simply 5 times 5. And the answer is 25. So the highest common factor of these two numbers is 25. And in order to work out the lowest common multiple, we take the highest common factor, which is 25, and we multiply it by all the numbers we have not used so far. So let's go back up here. It's 2 over here. We've got a 5. And we also have a 7. So let's work this out. 25 times 2, and we can do some workings out here. So we've got 25 times 2 is 50. 50 times 5 is 250. So we can even make a note of that here. 250. And we just want to multiply this by the 7. So we have 0. 7 5s are 35. 7 2s are 14, and 3 is 17. So the lowest common multiple, let's write this down first, 1750. Let me just underline that so it's very clear. So the lowest common multiple of 125 and 350 is 1750. That's a 2-mark question. That could even be a 3-mark question. So just make sure you show the full workings out. Now let's move on to our third question. What is the lowest common multiple of 180 and 300? Now this question has got 3 marks. And we're going to answer this question slightly differently. Instead of using a factor tree, we know that these two numbers, 180 and 300, they are divisible by 3, and because they end in 0, they're going to be divisible by 30. So they're nice round numbers. So let's write down 180 here. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep adding 180 for the next few numbers. So 18 times 2 is 360. 540, 720, 900, 1080. So all we have done is simply add 180 each time. So that is the first number done, 180. We're now going to work on 300. And don't forget, the lowest common multiple is the smallest number that both of these numbers will go into. So we'll write down 300. Adding 300 gives us 600. We add again 900. Now we don't need to go any further, because if we have a look at these numbers, 900 here is the same as the 900 here. Therefore, we have worked out the lowest common multiple is 900. So in this question, we have used a very simple method to work out the lowest common multiple. That is not always easy when the numbers are very different. And the reason why we were able to do this is because these were nice, round, even numbers to work with. Now let's move on to our fourth example. What is the lowest common multiple of 126 and 330? Again, you will notice that this has 3 marks. Now, unlike the previous question, where we simply added the number each time, it is not possible in this question. The reason is that the numbers 126 and 330 are not nice, round, even numbers. So we will have to use our factor tree. So let's begin. 126. Now the smallest prime number this can be divided by is 2. 126 divided by 2 is 63. Now 63 cannot be divided by 2, but it can be divided by 3. That's a nice easy. 21. And 21 is 3 times 7. Now I'm going through this quite quickly because we've gone through this several times. So you should know the method by now. So these are all the prime factors of the number 126. So we're going to change colors and now move on to 330. So 330, it's an even number, it can be divided by 2. The answer is 165. Now we've come across this number before, it can be divided by 3. The answer is 55. 55 cannot be divided by 2 or by 3, but it can be divided by 5. It's 5 and 11, and 11 is a prime number. So the prime factors of the number 330 are 2, 3, 5, and 11. So let's write these numbers out here. 126 equals 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. So those are all the numbers that we circled over here. And the number 330 is 2 times, again these are all the numbers over here, 2 times 3 times 5 times 11. The next step is to match the numbers from in the top column, in the top row and the bottom row. So we got 2 here and a 2 here. We've also got 3 and 3. Now these are the only numbers that match. This way we can work out the highest common factor. And that is the 2 over here times the 3 over here. The answer is 6. So the highest common factor is 6. Now to work out the lowest common multiple, it is the highest common factor, which is 6, times all the numbers we haven't used, times 3, times 7, times 5, times 11. So that is how we work out the lowest common multiple. So let's go through this. 6 times 3 is 18. Now 18 times 7, and we can work out these. 18, well, let's write this down. 7 times 5 is 35. You can do this in any way you want. Times 11. And the answer is, and you can show all the workings out, which I'm not going to go through, because in this tutorial we're learning about the lowest common multiple. The answer is 6,930. And by all means, show all the workings out for the multiplication. Now, in the previous question, we simply added this number, the 330, with the 126. We kept adding them until we came to the numbers which matched. And you will notice in this question that is not possible. We have to use the factor tree, we have to work out the highest common factor, and from there work out the lowest common multiple.